From the studios of the WBCR Brooklyn News radio station, this is Beyond the Box Score. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Beyond the Box Score. It is March 4th, 2024. We're in March, guys.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts.
We got to do a March Madness show.
We're definitely going to in the few
Yeah.
weeks. This year has flown by.
Yeah. I'm Max, here with my two lovely co-hosts. How you guys doing?
I'm in a great mood after yesterday's Celtics game.
Oh, yeah?
I'm in a fantastic mood today.
All right.
Doing pretty well, man. Can't complain. Yeah, Atleti won this weekend. That was nice. Yeah, thankfully we're not going to have too much basketball segment today because Sean won't be able to brag too much, but, you know.
Yeah, because last week, spring training got underway with some spring training games. How much attention do you guys pay to spring training games?
To the games themselves, I don't put too much stock in them, to be honest. I more so look at, I use it as a chance. I pay attention more to the prospects that have, been called up from the minor leagues and, see how injured players are coming back. In terms of actual MLB veterans who have been in this league and playing professional baseball for a while, I don't really care that much. You know what I mean? It's nice to see baseball coming back, but I don't really put too much stock in it. Like, if a team that was really bad last year goes on a win streak in preseason, I don't care. It's nothing to me.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I don't know if there's like an interesting trade that happened. Like obviously with the Juan Soto trade, I was tuning into a couple games. And it does a really good job at kind of, hyping you up if you're a baseball fan.
It gives you like a good glimpse of what your team is going to be. Mm-hmm. But honestly, like spring training, like any other preseason for any other sport, it's not about like the star players. It's about like the prospect guys getting their run in. Yeah. So to see if they could actually play for the team come the regular season. So I feel like it's more so about that. So it's kind of more so for like the diehard fans of the teams. You're not really going to get the casuals tuning into spring training. Yeah. But it's a good measuring stick for what your team is going into the start of the season.
Yeah. Well, we're super excited for the upcoming baseball season, and we have our American League predictions coming today for you guys. We're going to be starting in the AL East and make our way through that and move on to the AL Central and then the West. And we're not going to be doing we could if we want, if you guys want to try to predict records, but I think tough. Just standings for right now is going to be good.
Yeah.
It's tough with so many games that they have.
Yeah.
We can also talk about if we think they'll be over under 500 and if we think they'll make the playoffs. I think that could be good.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. All right, so, like I said, let's start out with the AL East. Oscar, I'm interested. What do you got for me?
So, do you just want 1 through 5 right now, right off the bat?
Yeah,
okay.
Let's hear it.
So, in first place, I don't know. I really love the vibe of this team. I really liked what they did last year. I'm going to pick the Baltimore Orioles. I thought that they would kind of, I don't know, I was worried that they would be a flash in the pan and kind of get picked apart because of terrible owners, but now they're getting new owners.
New ownership.
And so that usually means more investment. Hopefully they get those Gunnar Henderson and Adley Rutschman contracts, those extensions. Just, if I was them, I'd give them both like matching deals, 6 to 8 years. Like, hey, please, come be the cornerstones of this franchise. Like I said, and not only that, but they added Corbin Burns, who, is, I don't know if he's like a Cy Young candidate, but he'll be, he's knocking on the door. He's like, at least like second tier pitcher, I think, in the American League.
Yep.
And I love this offense still. It was super explosive last year, and they've kept most of the team together. Mm-hmm. So I think I'm going to go with the O's in first, Yankees in second. I think it'll be a really good battle for first, though. I think the Yankees will be close behind. The thing with the Yankees is just I feel like if they have one or two bad injuries, that offense could completely disintegrate. Like a sandcastle at night. It's like that's what happened last year. Judge went down. Rizzo got concussed, and I think he tried to play with the concussion, which was a really bad idea. And it was just kind of all fell apart from there. Mm-hmm. But I like this staff. I think they have a really good 1-2-3 with Stroman, Rodon and hopefully, hopefully Rodon kind of has a bounce back here because he was not what Yankees fans wanted.
For sure.
And hopefully, if you're a Yankees fan, maybe have Nestor, he's usually pretty consistent. Maybe have him raise up the level just a little bit. And, Garrett Cole is Garrett Cole. In terms of, and then I have the Rays after that. No. I have the Jays after that. I'm sorry. I misread. I don't know. I saw some people picking them to finish above Baltimore. I don't agree with that.
No.
I think they're a good team though, and I think they'll make the playoffs. But I think this is like arguably the best division in baseball, and I don't think they're better than the Yankees or the O's. I got the Rays in fourth. They've made themselves a really competitive team these past few years, though they've lost really good pieces. And in fifth, I have the Red Sox, who have had a really terrible offseason.
Yeah. Okay. We don't exactly agree, but it's about the same.
There's some differences with me too.
I'm just gonna go real quick. I have the Orioles also finishing first. I frankly love their offseason. It was interesting because it was kind of quiet, but then when the new owners came in and flashed that wallet with getting Burns, I think that one area of concern for me coming into the season was their starting pitching. They have a great lineup. But now adding Corbin Burns, who will be their ace, like you said, I don't know if he'll be a Cy Young candidate, but last season 3.39 ERA with 200 strikeouts. He's exactly what this team needed. And I mean, just go down the roster: Adley Rutschman, Gunnar Henderson, Colton Cowser, Jackson Holliday is going to be coming. He'll probably win. We're going to talk about the awards later, but he'll probably win that AL Rookie of the Year. Look, they're young, they're athletic, they steal bases, they hit for power, they do so much well, and that's why I had to put them above my favorite team, unfortunately, the Yankees. I think the Yankees will win a lot of games this year, because their roster is just too good. I mean, health, like you said, is the main thing for them. If they can stay healthy, if Judge can play, I'm not going to ask him to play 160 games, but like if he can stay healthy, if Rizzo can stay healthy, and more importantly, if Soto can stay healthy, which last year he proved he was able to do that, they're going to win a lot of games. I think Cole is it's possible that he could win another Cy Young this year, and I like the additions, of course, with Soto, but then Verdugo and Stroman. I think they had a lot of Yankees fans are kind of complaining that they're not going after Blake Snell, but I think they had a really successful offseason, improved in the areas that they kind of suffered in last season. Hopefully we'll see some improvements with Anthony Volpe. I could go on and on about the Yankees, but I think second is probably where they're going to finish. I have the Rays third. Like you said, a very well-rounded roster with Arozarena, Paredes, Diaz, Siri. I don't know how losing Glass now is going to hurt them. He had some injury problems with them, but when he was playing, he was really good. Obviously, losing Franco is unfortunate for them. I don't think they're going to win this division, but they'll probably make the playoffs because they've, like I said, a very nice roster. Blue Jays fourth. I'm looking for Vladdy to have a comeback season. Last season was not the one that he was really looking for, and their off season was a little strange. I feel like they were kind of you guys can talk to, by the way, interrupt me anytime. I feel like they really wanted to go for Ohtani. There was kind of those rumors. Remember, one day people were tracking his plane. They thought he was going to Toronto.
Fly to Toronto or something? Or no, that was just a rumor, right?
I think it was just a rumor.
He didn't actually go. But.
Yeah, so maybe they were just banking on getting Ohtani, and when that fell through, they're kind of like, well, what do we do now? They added Justin Turner after they lost Matt Chapman and added Turner, so they'll have that third base figured out. But yeah, I think they might sneak in for a wild card, and then Red Sox fifth. This is going to be more of the same from last season.
Yeah.
Devers is going to be good. Lucas Giolito was a nice addition, but it's just too good of a division for really them to compete right now.
They started to come along last season too for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and then towards the end, but it wasn't too little too late. All right, so I have the Orioles in first. I think that they were very good last year, had a good playoff push, fell short, and just readjusted their assets, got new pieces. I feel like this team's gonna be really good, like they were last season. This has always been in the last couple of years a strong regular season team, and I think they'll continue to do so. In second, I have the Yankees. I do think this team's going to be very good in the regular season too. I know Juan Soto has a 1-year contract. I think he definitely re-signs.
With the Yankees.
Yeah, and
That's
stays.
Yeah.
I like that 1-2 punch with him and Judge. I feel like there'll be stretches of games where they're just like hitting home runs left and right. And Rizzo's very good. Their pitching is really good. I really like the core of this team. I just can't put them, as good as they are, I can't put them over the Orioles. If the Orioles weren't in their division, I probably would put them first, but...
Would you say that the Yankees are a better playoff team than the Orioles, but the Orioles just have a roster that's designed to win more regular season games?
I want to see... I just think that Orioles team's very inexperienced, and I think that... that's why I really love the... signing of Burns or trading to get him. I guess they technically haven't signed him yet, but if they, I don't know, if they put up the money and play really well this year, I'm sure he will resign. But I wanted to see more elite level pitching. Like they have a really good starting rotation, but I wanted to see that a guy of Burns' caliber. You know, you need that guy in the playoffs who's like can just come out and steal you a game. You know, just give up only 1 or 2 runs. You know, you need that kind of guy in the playoffs. And they didn't have that last year. And hopefully he can be that guy for them this year. I think also, you know, they got slapped pretty hard by the Rangers, who went on to win the World Series, so it's not like they lost to a bad team. I think that young teams, you know, you need to get, you know, punched in the face sometimes. You know, you need to learn how to deal with that.
Yeah.
I think you saw the whole team kind of, as soon as they started going down to the Rangers, they just freaked out and like didn't know what to do. But you know, I think that just comes with experience.
Yeah, it's hard to pick young teams. Like for example, with OKC this year, like I doubt very many people will pick them to win the championship. But maybe in the coming years, now that they will get some playoff experience, it's going to be the same thing with the Orioles.
It's the same thing with the Orioles too. Because as great as regular season I think they're going to have, I don't think people are really going to pick them that much to win the World Series. I do think that people are going to look at the more experienced teams, like you said, with OKC, who are now first in the West as of this morning. But, I feel like with this Orioles team, they just need to continue to improve, get that playoff experience on their belt. This team is still young, so they have a long ways to go. But in third, I do have the Tampa Bay Rays. And I was flipping with this a little bit with them and the Blue Jays in third. But I do think the Rays have been a good playoff team the last couple of years. It feels like last season especially, they kind of had the Yankees number, too. And I feel like they'll make the playoffs. They'll make some noise. I just don't see, with the additions that the Yankees have made, I don't see them being better than New York. In fourth, I do have the Toronto Blue Jays. Like you said, Max, they tried to get Ohtani, try to go all in, couldn't get it done. And now it's kind of like, well, you look around what they have, and it's just not enough. So when they're a good team, I think there'll be a lot of progression here. But this team isn't going to really, they'll win games, but they're not really going to be that good. And the Boston Red Sox, I think, are going to be terrible, honestly. Especially in a division like this, a division that's really heavy star loaded. I feel like they're really going to struggle. They kind of had that come together last season where they started to like push their record to 500 or close to 500, but they just were never really even good enough.
Yeah, I think the Sox, I don't know. Actually, I was going to say they might finish with the winning record. I don't think that's impossible that they do that. They almost did last year. Like, for example, if I think they were in, like, the Central, I think they could have a chance of, like, winning that division. I'm not going to lie.
They would finish second or third, I think, in that division. They're just in the wrong division.
But that's just me saying
the state of the team.
But I think that almost says more about the Central than it does about the Sox.
Yeah.
I love Devers. He's an absolute beast. Love that guy. He's amazing. That's kind of the only bright... I mean, actually, no. Tristan Casas is a dog. I'm a big fan of his. I think he had a breakout year last year. I'd like to see how he develops. Yoshida's also really good. But at the same time, I think that although, you might start to, except for Devers, who just signed a big contract extension, I think you could see the vultures start to circle come trade deadline for all those other guys, and the Sox might have to be a seller at that point,
Yeah.
But, if I was, if you're trying to make a World Series or playoff push, I think you should go out and trade for some of those guys come the deadline. But, yeah, I guess before we move, or I don't want to, but, like, maybe we should talk a bit about why I like the Blue Jays better than the Rays, and you guys like the Rays better.
I'm interested in that.
Honestly, it's not really that much there. I don't think my estimation of our like evaluations of these teams are too far off each other. I just think that I don't know. I just trust that Blue Jays lineup, and they've got they've got a Cy Young contender as their ace. I think that I don't know. I just like that way that team's built a little bit more, and I just think that Glasner and Franco were just really important. Even though Glasner had his injury problems last year, I think they were both really important to that Rays team. And also just. I don't know, the way Wander Franco left the team, I think that's just a really bad, just bad mojo for the team. I just feel like there might be some bad vibes. But that being said, they have some good young prospects, and that's kind of what the Rays have just been about these past few years is, kind of just they want you to not really pay attention to them. And then, it's going to be July or August, and they're just going to be
there, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what happens every year. Now, for the past few years.
I mean, they had that unbelievable start to last season. And the Orioles won 101 games last season, and their roster has just gotten better. So I doubt unless they have injury problems, I doubt they lose very many games. They lost 61 last year. I think the Yankees will be a little bit more competitive, 82 and 80. Again, unless we're all saying unless injuries happen, they should win more games. I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
And then because it's interesting, because I just feel like how top-loaded the East is. Like, you look at the Red Sox, they only finished 6 games above 500, which comparing their teams to, like, the Orioles or the Rays last season seems kind of unfathomable that they were able to be that good.
Well, they finished below 500.
No, but I'm saying only 6 games below 500. Oh, okay. I thought they'd honestly be worse than they were. I didn't expect them to win 78 games. But, yeah, so I feel like this Red Sox team is going to struggle. But like we said, I feel like in the Central or even in the West, they could be like a middle-of-the-pack team for that division.
It's strange I don't understand what the Red Sox are doing, because if you're going to try and compete in this, which might be the best division in all of baseball, you need to make more additions to that team, or you need to start rebuilding and trading guys, and they didn't do either of those things, You can't really...
They were never really in on Ohtani. I think they were in on Yamamoto, maybe. I don't remember hearing an offer from them, but yeah, it is interesting. Kind of, they just settled for, I don't know. Would you call that like mediocrity? I guess.
Yeah, no. In this division, it definitely is. It's weird. These owners and the general manager, I know they just parted ways, this off season, but just not really taking it very seriously, are they? I don't know. It's just strange, because usually Boston takes these things a lot more serious. Usually they're way more aggressive when it comes to free agents and things like that. But
do you think a part of it is that they see how top-heavy their division is, and so it's just kind of like, all right, let's just take it slow for at least for like the next few years and just see what we have with the talent?
Maybe, but in that case, then I would kind of, I'd trade some of the guys. Like, I'd trade, like, someone like Yoshida, who's, like, I think he's, like, 29 or 30. Like, like, he's not someone who's going to, like, you could keep, for the long term, maybe keep Devers and, Casas or something, but I don't know why they've got a bunch of other guys on that team who I think they should get rid of if they're going to commit to a rebuild.
Well, this division is going to be really interesting, and we'll follow them throughout baseball, because I'm confident. I think this is the best division in all of baseball right now.
Yeah,
I mean
the East.
The West is going to be good, but this East is kind of incredible.
I don't know. You could potentially have like 2, maybe even like a sneaky 3rd World Series contender come out of that division.
Yeah.
If like the Orioles keep building on what they have. I mean, the Yankees, they're like they have a high ceiling.
Low floor.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see what we get out of them. Yeah.
We should do like a deeper breakdown into Yankees, Mets,
Yeah,
we should follow that New York sports.
I was gonna say we could do that like right as baseball season's about to start.
Yeah,
I mean that it starts. We could do like a Yankees and Mets deep dive like we just did with the Knicks and Nets.
Well, we'll just keep you updated as long
We'll follow along with the standings, breakdown games, stuff like that.
Exactly. For sure. Exactly.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. American League Central. This one's. This is gonna be tough to get through. Not the best division. So last year the Twins won it with just 87 games. I mean, what do we think about this, guys?
It's just I don't know. Maybe the less time spent here, the better. But
look, the Twins are gonna be a decent team.
Yes.
With Buxton, hopefully he's healthy, and Correa. I think they should probably comfortably win this division. I have the Guardians second.
I do too. And this is kind of crazy to put out there. Do you think there's a world in where the Guardians win this division or no?
It's possible.
But
I don't think
they won the year before, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I think they've just they're just one of those teams that's kind of slowly gotten worse over the past few years.
Mm-hmm.
And with the Twins, I think they'll still win this division, but I think I take them a lot less seriously in the playoffs now without Sonny Gray.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a really big loss for them.
Yeah, going to the Cardinals. Yeah, that is a big loss.
Because he was so good for them last year.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Then I got the Tigers finishing third. I think they have some young, talented players, but nothing too eye catching.
Yeah.
The White Sox fourth, and then the Royals fifth. I like that they re-signed Bobby Witt Jr., but not a lot of activity from these smaller market teams right now.
Yeah, it's tough, especially because I feel like the White Sox and the Royals are just so bad. I feel like they're especially the Royals, they're just gonna be bad this year. And then the Tigers, they have potential, but it's nothing really there to carry them to even a playoff seeding. I don't think so, but I feel like they'll just have a decent run of the mill season.
Mm-hmm. They'll always have the Lions, The season was special.
Yeah,
and the Pistons.
Sure. Yeah, of course. Any comments on the AL Central?
I guess you kind of basically said it. The only thing. I had Chicago under Kansas City, but I don't know. I don't.
It's a pick 'em.
I don't feel very strongly about that. Sure, why not? I don't know. It just seems like the vibes around the White Sox are a lot worse. Organizationally, there's been a lot of bad stuff coming out.
That Tim Anderson stuff was kind of rough last season.
The Tim Anderson thing, and also there was just a lot of rumors about dissent in the clubhouse and people not being happy and nobody wanting to be there. And I think once you start hearing those stories consistently, I think that's just a really bad
culture thing.
Yeah, and with baseball, you play a game every day, damn near in the summer. You're there, you're together with the team all the time, and you, like I said, you play all the time. So. If your locker room, if your clubhouse is nasty and people don't want to be there, it can get so toxic.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's move on to the West.
Yeah, this is a little interesting.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Top heavy teams.
So, Oscar, give it to me.
I got you, bro. All right. First place. I got Houston.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and I don't know. I think it'll be an interesting little division, but. And I think there'll be a few weeks throughout the season where we're like, oh, is this going to be a race? But I think that Houston's going to kind of comfortably come first.
Yeah.
Okay. My kind of hot take, because I don't know, I realized my predictions were a little bit too much. I also looked at what other writers and journalists or media people were saying, and I was like, yeah, these are a little bit too similar to other people's. In second place, I have Seattle. I just kind of want to spice things up.
Wow.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Because and I don't know, you're gonna one of the reasons why is gonna come on a little bit later in the show.
Okay.
But
Gotcha.
I like how this team has. I just like the additions that they've made a lot. They kept that good starting rotation together. The only thing I'm worried about is the bullpen depth. Mm-hmm. They lost some guys there. And you need a good bullpen. So it's like, having a, good lineman in football. You need a good bullpen to make it through the season. Or else, you're going to fall apart. And
Seattle with the second best bullpen in the AL last season.
Yeah.
3.48 combined ERA.
So hopefully, even though they lost those guys, hopefully it doesn't hurt them too much. Because they as you saw, they relied on that bullpen a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, but, I'm in Seattle. I feel it's weird that I've talked for a minute about the Mariners without talking about, 44. It's Julio's team. It's Julio Rodriguez. He's the J-Rod. He's the star of that city. He's amazing. And he had a slow start to the year last year, and he still finished top 10 in MVP voting, I'm pretty sure. And also I like his attitude about it. He said he had a bad season, even though he was putting up all-star numbers and MVP worthy numbers. So I just love that guy's hunger. And I don't know, just interesting little stat. Here's some of the players in this century that have gotten multiple top 10 MVP votes, or have been finished in the top 10 for MVP voting multiple times before turning 23. Some other people include Ricky Henderson, Mike Trout, Fernando Tatis Jr., Hank Aaron, Albert Pujols, and Juan Soto. So this guy's an elite company. These are like, Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers, MVPs. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's gonna carry them over the Rangers, and I just think the Rangers have lost too many players from that team. I think they really had a terrible offseason, and I don't know. They had a chance to build something special, but I think they're in trouble now.
Interesting.
Because they needed Jordan Montgomery to win the World Series. They sadly needed Aroldis Chapman to win the World Series. They needed both of those guys. Make no mistake, I don't think they would have won without them. And you lose both of those guys, and that's going to be tough. And they, it was a battle for them to make the playoffs. We kind of forget, they weren't guaranteed. It was a fight for that division.
It wasn't pretty.
Yeah, it was a fight till the very end for that division. Not only that, but they're starting the season without DeGrom, Scherzer, and what's his name, Mahle? I kind of forget how to pronounce it.
I believe it's Mahle.
Yeah, Mahle, right?
Yeah.
All three of those guys are injured to start the year.
Yeah.
Scherzer's out for most of the season, at least the first half, I think. So that bullpen's going to be they're in trouble. I think they're going to need Dane Dubbing and Cody Bradford to step up as starters, and that's not good. As much as I love an underdog story, I would not bet on that. Happening.
I think you make some pretty fair points. I also have the Astros finishing first. They're probably going to be competing for yet another World Series. God damn it. And I have the Rangers finishing second. I think there might be a slight World Series hangover with them. You make some good points with the pitching. But I don't know. They've got some young, talented players coming up out of the system. I think they're going to win a lot of games, but the Astros just might beat them out.
I feel like with the Rangers, right, like Oscar pointed out all those injuries, I feel like the season is so long that they're going to be able to they might struggle to start the season, but I feel like they'll be able to stay above float for when they come back, and then they'll be good.
Yeah. Mariners, I got third. I really love their starting pitching. Obviously, Julio Rodriguez. This is a really, really decent roster that should make a push for a wild card spot. But it's going to be tough because just like the East, this is a good division. And we didn't even touch on the Angels and Athletics.
Yeah.
I mean, the Athletics.
How much time do we have before the break?
We got a little less than 10.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so that gives us time to talk about it. Also, I wanted to add... Okay, I got you. So, Evan Carter and Wyatt Langford are also two good youngsters who are on the Rangers.
Oh, yeah.
So, we might, those are definitely people to keep an eye out for. I was doing research on them when I was looking for the Rookie of the Year pick. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Should we talk about the Angels and the A's?
Yeah.
I have it in that order.
Yeah.
Angels and then
Fourth, fifth, yep.
I mean, the Angels, man.
It's not easy being an Angels fan.
No, I feel bad for them, man.
You gotta live in the same city with the Dodgers.
Yeah,
it's like the Clippers and the Lakers.
Yeah,
they're the Clippers. Yep.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's even. I think it might arguably be even worse because it's like
they don't make the playoffs.
Yeah, at least the Clippers are good. Yeah.
Yeah, or imagine if the Clippers had Shaq and Kobe and still didn't even make the playoffs with them. Right. It's like. Yeah, I mean, look, in baseball, you need a team to get far, but you had two of the greatest players in the history of this sport.
Yeah.
And they didn't even play a single playoff game together. And that is a travesty.
That's
so Angels
insane.
fans, you don't deserve what you get, but the owners and stuff, you guys deserve all of this pain. Yeah, that was terrible. You deprived all of baseball of watching two of the best players ever play together in the playoffs, and that is horrible. And that I can't really forgive.
It's great that Ohtani decided to leave. I think it went down to staying with the Angels or the Dodgers. And it's just great now that we're going to be able to watch playoff baseball with Ohtani there.
I know. It's and I don't think he even was like. I think if they had actually made the playoffs, I'm not guaranteeing he would have stayed, but I think he would have considered it a lot more.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But
I mean,
he just made the right choice because he he wanted a big deal, and you don't want to commit the rest of your prime and probably the rest of your career to not making the playoffs. I mean, look, he just needs to look across the locker room. You don't want to end up like Mike Trout. I hate to say it. I love Mike Trout, man, but that man has played in the playoffs once, and that is a travesty.
Yeah.
For how good he is as an individual talent, it's just like it's crazy to just fathom like Mike Trout, depending on who he has as teammates or not. It's like him as an individual talent not making the playoffs a lot is crazy to think about.
Yeah, it's sad, you know. It's a terrible thing.
And
then the Athletics.
They're just bad.
Moving on.
What did they finish with? 52 wins last year?
One thing I will say about the A's, I like the look of, what's his name? I was watching footage of him. Nolan Schanuel,
I believe.
Yeah. Oh, no, he's good. I think he can qualify as Rookie of the Year, so watch out for him. He's really good.
I rewatched Moneyball last night.
Oh, man.
Probably top 3 sport movie for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about that on the it was either the Get Back. It was when Daniel was here. We were talking about our top 3 sports movies. That's definitely my top 3.
I mean, Moneyball's great. There's just a lot of good sports. There's like either a sports movie is really good.
Let's talk about that during the break, though.
Yes.
Okay,
Let's hold on.
That's a good
idea.
But yeah, the A's. I don't know. Terrible team. I feel so bad for that fan base in the city of Oakland. They're getting their heart ripped out again.
They had so many Warriors.
And then the mayor, I'm not sure if you guys heard about this, the mayor of Las Vegas said that they have no plans of having a baseball team there.
Yeah.
Or something along the lines of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is
sad.
What do you do if you're the A's?
Yeah, it's
Or
terrible.
are they going to get moved? Like,
it's
they're going to Sacramento or something?
Corporate greed killed Oakland sports, just like it's killing a lot of things in our society. It's a horrible thing. Hey, shout out to those fans that aren't they're not going out sad. They're letting their voices be heard.
Oh yeah.
Is there a chance that the A's don't finish last in this division?
I don't think so.
No. I mean, the Angels
so even between them and the Angels, there's like this.
You still have Trout, so
yeah, and the
he'll help
Angels.
you win.
I don't know. They're not a good team, but they're not the same level of garbage that the A's are. Like I'm just how many wins did the A's have last year?
50.
They had 50 wins?
50 wins, 112
How much
losses.
did the Angels have?
73.
Okay, yeah, so that's 23 more. I mean, even without Ohtani, I don't think it's, because also he was injured for a good part. Actually, he got injured last year, too.
Trout was, too.
Yeah, Trout was,
they still
too.
won 73.
Yeah, exactly. And also, Snell has been heavily linked there.
Okay.
So I don't know. We'll see what's good. Maybe we could talk about the free agents kind of later.
Yeah.
But actually,
I forgot to mention Montgomery. He might be going back to the Rangers. I know he hasn't. There's really been nothing from him so far yet this offseason, but I think that's the team that he's most linked to.
Really? Okay. I would have thought that if that was meant to happen, it would have happened by spring training. But I don't know.
I think so. But Scott Boras is another animal.
So,
that guy's a beast.
So of all these 15 teams, right? Which one of them you think is gonna have the most surprising season? So obviously we're looking at teams like Seattle, maybe even Detroit. What team that right now we don't think is gonna be that good? Do you guys see really having a good season?
I could be the Blue Jays. I mean, they could really fight. I like the roster, and their pitching. I mean.
Yeah, I'd say
Mariners. There's some good teams.
Yeah, I'd say Rays or Seattle. Because
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, because I mean I guess it's kind of flip flop for us because I had the Blue Jays higher than the Rays. So I both of those for me I don't know I think like I said I'm expecting really big things out of Julio this year. I think he's gonna carry that team. I mean it's baseball as much as one man can in baseball, but I'm expecting a lot from him. So I think he could do something special.
All right. I think that was pretty good.
No,
we don't disagree on a lot of stuff, but I think
we had the overall understanding. It's just the little ticky-tack stuff that we disagreed on.
Yeah,
but
I think the NL is a little bit more. We might get into some disagreements.
Yeah.
It's more competitive.
Honestly, I was also, I mean, I do believe it. I wasn't just doing it to be an antagonist or something, but I was expecting you guys, at least one of you, to have Yankees in first.
I was really considering it.
Yeah.
I really
I thought
was.
that would be like an interesting point of contention.
I couldn't, honestly, just how good the Orioles are.
Yeah.
Like, it just didn't make sense to put the Yankees first,
It's-
but they're a
it's just
firm
health,
second.
dude. Like
Yeah.
if you told me right now, like you turned off injuries, I would put the Yankees first.
Yeah.
Straight up, because you have Aaron Judge and Soto now, who are both going to be competing
Yeah.
for the MVP.
But you just know there's going to be that stretch of time where Judge is going to miss.
Judge might miss some time.
Judge
Stanton will
is-
probably miss a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Too many guys that are made of glass.
Yeah,
Or
their starting
not totally
rotation,
glass.
I don't trust
They,
really.
they have a championship window.
I don't think
Mm.
there's anybody put us on break.
No break.
I don't think there's anybody there to do it.
Okay, we could just keep talking.
Oh.
It's fine.
It's up to you guys. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But anyways, as I was saying, yeah, the Yankees rotation, I don't really trust health wise. I with Rodon and Cortez, are just massive question marks. Cole, I know, is going to be incredible. Stroman, I think, will do his thing. He's usually a pretty reliable pitcher when he's healthy. But yeah, I don't know. I think the Orioles are going to win. As far as playoff success, we'll see. But regular season, I have the Orioles definitely winning more games.
Yeah, and especially it's exciting because you've just got Adley is going to get better. I mean, you would hope like this. They're only going to get better. Gunner's
Mhm.
going to get better. Jackson Holiday has yet to enter the field of play. We didn't even mention Grayson Rodriguez, former #1 overall pick as a pitcher. So he hopefully will just get better and better as the year goes on too.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's sunny in Baltimore right now.
No,
It
it's,
is.
And I think a fun fact. I think I'm actually going to go out there and catch a game pretty soon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No,
Dude, Campton Yards, I heard it's pretty nice.
I love it.
Great
It's really
ballpark,
nice.
huh?
Yeah. No, it's also like you can, as a New Yorker, you can, if you wanted, if you felt so inclined, you could make it a day trip there. It's not that far.
Okay.
It's like on a good day, you get to Baltimore in less than 3 hours driving.
Yeah. Or train too. Right?
Yeah. Train is my favorite. That's my
it's
favorite.
it's
way
not
to go.
too, it's not too far. Yeah, 3
No,
4
no,
hours,
it's
maybe
just-
5. But
It's just a little bit south of DC.
exactly, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely one of the ballparks I want to go. I really want to go
Or
to
is
Wrigley.
Is DC a little bit close? I forget.
DC is like 3.5, I think.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
But no, I'd like to go to Wrigley too. I don't know. Yeah, no, we should. I don't know if we go to like live games, we could document them here on the show. But anyways,
Is,
you want to do? So are we not having a break right now?
I don't think there's anybody there.
We could just keep going.
I'll
I'm
okay,
fine.
yeah.
we could just keep
we have
going.
some stuff here.
I guess
Yeah.
screw it. So you want to do? Do you want to finish baseball up with our AL award predictions?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's finish with MVP. Okay, so let's
Okay,
do
I like
let's do
that.
rookie
Yeah.
of the year first. Should I give you the guys the odds first? Before
Oh
we
yeah,
make
Yeah.
our
let's hear
picks?
odds makers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
odds,
Okay, let's see.
that was
So,
smart.
right now, we have Jackson Holiday favorite plus 250 by DraftKings to win Rookie of the Year, AL Rookie of the Year. Then Evan Carter and Wyatt Langford, those two young Rangers. I'm gonna go with DraftKings here. I really like Jackson Holiday. I'm sure you guys do.
Yeah, that's who I picked. I'm not gonna lie. I picked Jackson Holiday. There's just I don't know. I hear everybody raving about him. All the people who know about baseball.
Yeah.
He hasn't really needed to ever really get his footing in any of the other divisions he's played in. Like he's just been, as soon as he started playing in the minor leagues, he's ripped up every single
Yeah.
division, I think. So, and with the Orioles, here's why I'm picking him over some of the other guys. I just think that the Orioles have a lot of faith in their youth, and they aren't scared to play them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's going to get a lot of chances, especially with that Brandon Hyde, the manager. He has a lot of faith in young players, so I think he's going to get a lot of at-bats. So I think he's just going to naturally get the most opportunity to improve and show what he can do.
With Jackson Holiday, I do agree. I also think Jackson Holiday, and it comes down to the simple fact of the best player on the best team. And I feel like that's what Jackson Holiday is going to be for the Orioles.
Really? You think he's going to be better than Adley?
Or I think he means best rookie.
Best rookie, my bad.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a big reason why they win a lot of games here.
Okay.
I feel like he's going to be he's going to play a major factor into why they win.
How old is he again, Sean?
20.
20, yeah.
So,
Wow.
And that's when Gunner
insane.
came up too,
What
and
am
you
I
saw
doing with my life, man?
I know, right?
Yeah.
We're just sitting here talking about it
He
because
looks
actually
like
out
he's
there doing it.
16.
He actually does.
He
Yeah.
looks like a child.
They all
Yeah.
look kind of the same. It's like they made him in a laboratory.
I know.
It's kind of weird.
I know, man. I told them they should offer me a contract.
Yeah, you know what? You can get
Yeah.
the blonde, dirty blonde
Exactly,
white guy.
yeah.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. You know,
Yeah.
Sign me up.
You just wear a cap.
Yeah, exactly. I got Orioles cap.
Yeah.
It is kind of crazy though how amazing their farm system has been, and it's kind of well. First of all, it's the result of essentially tanking for
Yeah, being really bad.
yeah,
And being able to draft correctly.
yeah. You know,
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's all worked out, honestly.
Also in baseball is the hardest sport to draft for, and like
Mhm.
to like
To tank for too.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
like, for example, like the NBA, you go Victor Wembanyama, like the Spurs, if you tank.
Yeah,
But with
right.
like, you don't have a prospect like that really stands out when it comes to baseball.
it's just
So it's
Generational.
tough because you
Yeah.
don't know where you're gonna fall and who you're gonna be able to get.
because I feel like with not obviously not in every case, but I feel like with for example, basketball, like it's a lot easier to tell
yeah.
whose qualities
yeah.
will translate to the professional.
You have a lot
Exactly.
more hidden gems in baseball,
Yeah.
and even football too. Like you
Yeah.
find amazing players in round 6, round 5. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
Yeah.
But in basketball, I think that's a little bit more rare.
Yeah,
to see
Yeah.
that.
baseball's also just so hard to compare high school players or teenage players across because baseball's so different depending on who's pitching to you, what kind of ballpark you play in, what kind of bat you're using, how the
Mhm.
weather is. I mean, I don't know. Mike Trout almost fell to the second round, because he played in Jersey and not that many scouts went out to see him. It's really as simple as that, like
Mhm.
basically. And dudes, I don't know, people didn't rate New Jersey baseball players as highly as they did Texas, Georgia, places like that.
Mhm.
Whereas like you got NBA athletes who go to like the top tier colleges that all
Mhm.
scouts know about, so they always just go there to check them out. It's a much more easier process than when like baseball.
Also, your destination, I feel like, has less of an impact on your game.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like what we
Mhm.
saw with Bryce Young this year, we really couldn't tell what he was as a player because he
was so
didn't have any
bad, yeah.
protection. He didn't have anyone to throw to. But in baseball, it's different where you can really see these young guys just explode onto the scene. And
Yeah.
not-
And in baseball, I feel like it's just, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you
yeah.
for that, but like, it's just also, it's really hard because, it's harder for you to see with the naked eye what makes a good baseball player compared to what makes a good basketball player.
Mhm.
Like in basketball, it's like, take one look at Wemby. Yeah, this guy's going to be, I mean, obviously he's, not an everyday thing, but like you could see him and be like, yeah, all those skills are
Freak
going to
of nature.
translate to
Yeah.
the NBA. Like,
And they have
yeah, exactly.
in a big way.
And in baseball,
So-
if you're watching a 16-year-old hit, you're like, it's harder because you're like, well, maybe he's crushing these pitches here, but once he gets to a tougher level, maybe he won't be able to see the pitches the same way. Maybe he won't be able to adjust the same way. It's weird. It's definitely something to think about. It's
Mhm.
strange.
All right, let's go on to Cy Young. This is interesting. You got a couple good candidates here in the AL. But I went a little. You can call me Yankee boy all you want, but I went with Garrett Cole again. I just think this dude is locked in on another level right now. Coming off of Cy Young appearance, I think he's gonna be just as good, if not better. I mean, I really don't see. I just love the guy. I think you listen to him off the field, he doesn't have really like much of a personality because I think baseball is kind of his whole life, So I went with Cole here, and I'm pretty confident about that.
No, I don't think you're biased because I chose the same thing.
Okay.
And I'm not a Yankees fan, so I chose the same thing. I don't know. Here, you want to pull up those odds too, maybe?
Yeah. let me
Yeah.
go
What are
for
the
it.
odds?
I think like how top heavy they are. I think he really has like a chance to really prosper on this team
Yeah,
with the right pieces around him.
I
It'll really
agree.
highlight how good he is.
Yeah, I agree, Sean. I also I don't really see we're looking at the competition. There's good
Mhm.
pitchers here. You got Gausman, you got Valdez, you got Burns, but I don't. Some people think Kirby might be a sneaky Cy Young candidate, but I don't know.
Burns could win it too. I feel like it's between Cole and Burns, but I think Cole gets it.
Yeah, I don't know. Cole, man, he's such a beast, and
Yeah.
he was so good last year without run support.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
If Angels pick up Snell, then it could be. I don't know. He's won
Yeah.
2, but he hasn't won.
He's a very interesting pitcher, that Snell.
Yeah.
It's like he walks a ton of guys, but like who cares if he gets the other ones out, right? Like I don't know.
Yeah.
He's also
That's a good point.
he's high risk, high reward. You
Yeah.
know, I think And the only reason he's not like people, I don't know. I see like some people try and spin that story. They're like, why does nobody want him? It's like, no, every team wants him.
Amazing
but-
year with the Rays, amazing year with the Padres last year, but then in the middle you kind of got a little mediocrity.
Exactly. And he wants a long contract and he wants a lot of money, which like I'm not mad at him for that. Go, as he should. He just won the Cy Young. Try and get as much money as he can. But
Right.
I think that's what's scaring people away. Probably same thing with Montgomery. I'm sure he just wants like a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. 2 Garrett Coles. We got 3 Garrett Coles.
Yes.
All right.
Oh
Nice.
damn, unanimous.
Yeah.
Garrett.
Garrett
Sweet.
Cole, yeah. I think, yeah.
Damn, that's 3 unanimous on both of these.
That just means it's not going to happen, I guess.
yeah, right.
Like our Monday Night Football
I
predictions.
might have to go Gosman. All right, let's go to MVP. Oh shoot, I don't. Oh, excuse me.
Sorry,
I don't want to. I don't want to jinx it now. I'm really worried about this because I cannot get a single prediction right on here.
So you want to go first, or should someone else start it off?
Um.
Actually, no. Now you have to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, now
all right.
you gotta go.
Don't leave us in suspense, Mac.
Let me bring up the odds first. So we got MVP AL odds.
Oh, here. Do you want to maybe read off the top 5 odds, the odds makers' favorites, and then we can say ours favorites?
Yeah. So number 1 we got Aaron Judge. Number 2 we got Juan Soto. Number 3 we got Yordan Alvarez.
I hear you, Don.
Number 4 Corey Seager, and number 5 Julio. I like those. I like all. I think
yeah.
those are good.
Oh,
picks.
Adley 6. Okay.
Adley
okay.
6. Gunner.
Gunner 7.
Wow. All right. Yeah. I mean, I picked Judge.
Yeah.
Look, he had outstanding numbers last season. Just he missed 45 games. So what are you gonna do? But like the last full season he hit 62 home runs. Just was unbelievable. Completely carried the Yankees. I do really like Aaron Judge's odds. If he can stay healthy, big if. He has shown that his health is cause for concern in the past. But then you got Juan Soto number 2, who's healthy, who's gonna be batting in front of Aaron Judge, so you can't really pitch around him.
Yeah.
Well,
that's gonna be.
So those are gonna be pretty interchangeable. I'm gonna go with Judge because he's the favorite, and I'm all for picking favorites. But what do you guys think?
I think the only thing stopping Aaron Judge from winning an AL MVP is injuries.
Mhm.
I do think by far he is the best player in the AL, and I feel like like I said, if he gets the chance to do it consistently, night in, night out, I think he'll win the MVP pretty easily.
Corey Seager could be a sleeper here. He's plus 1,000, but I mean, just like the World Series
Jordan Alvarez
MVP.
is too a little bit,
Mhm.
but not as
he's,
much.
He's a beast. Yeah. No, Jordan Alvarez is fun to watch. 'Cause
It's
he's
kind of
just-
insane that the 2 top players are Yankees, though.
Yeah. Well, that's going to
Well-
be a scary. That's going to
Yeah,
be a
that's
really
it.
tough part of the lineup because Juan Soto's a walk monster.
Mhm.
So he's always going to he gets on base so easily,
Mhm.
and the biggest problem with the only criticism people have of Soto last year is he wasn't hitting for power enough, and and they were also criticized the Padres. They're like, you leave men on base, and I thought those criticisms were very unfair.
He was not the issue with that
No,
team
not at
last
all.
year.
I mean, that team, it makes no sense why they were bad, but that's a different story for a different day.
Yeah.
Soto, I think he's going to be because he's going to get on base, and then Judge is going to get him home.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like it's the problem with one of the biggest problems with the Padres. It wasn't Soto's fault; is they left people stranded. He was usually the victim of that.
You have the power hitters
Yeah,
behind him.
exactly.
The Judge, the Rizzos, the Stantons.
It's going to be scary. But my MVP prediction, I'm picking Julio Rodriguez.
Mhm.
I wanted to I wanted to be like a little bold.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know, man. He's just might be the most dynamic player in the American League, maybe all of baseball. Like, he's just a freak athlete. He's a great hitter. He's got decent. I don't know. He strikes out sometimes, but he's got decent discipline for someone of his age.
Mhm. How old is he?
I think he's either is still 22 or just turned 23. He's younger than me.
23.
Yeah, he's 23. Yeah, and it was in December he just turned
Wow.
23. Yeah, and so he's still young enough and early enough in his career to where he could just explode, one of these years and really just become even better than he is now. Which I don't know. I think this is going to be the year. I think people are sleeping on him because he started the year off a little bit slowly, But even then, the Mariners almost made the playoffs, and I think he's going to come back with a vengeance this year. And I don't know. I think he's going to be the reason why the Mariners make the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they should. It's a tough division, but I could definitely see them, making that wild card round.
I think it's going to be only one of the teams from the West because I think the second and third place teams in the East are both making the playoffs.
Yeah. Oh man, that's so tough.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I think it's only going to be
are.
it's going to be one of Texas or Seattle. One of those teams is going to get left behind come fall.
Probably Seattle, but
It might have to be Seattle.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
No, I'm backing Seattle definitely.
Okay.
But I know you guys are
Yeah.
liking
Yeah,
the Rangers a lot.
when the Rangers win the World Series, it's tough not to pick
Yeah.
them.
to pick them. Even with the injury history, I feel like they'll do enough to stay above water until they're fully healthy and
I
then just
just-
go on a run.
I just think they're going to start the season off
Mhm.
like so far back
Mm-hmm.
because I think, like I said, I don't know. My prediction
Yeah.
is that Julio's going to play really well and he's going to make up for some of the loss of the bullpen, some of those stars.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that the Rangers are down 3 of their starting 5 in their rotation, and that's a
Really?
really bad place to start off. Especially, you got to go to Houston with a depleted rotation.
Mm-hmm.
That could get ugly.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I think they could find themselves in a pretty serious hole. Like I don't know. Actually, let me look at their schedule. But yeah, and then maybe we could get out with we can stop talking about baseball. Maybe get into like some other stuff. But but yeah, their schedule. Let me see. Their first few games after spring training, it's going to be. They open against the Cubbies. All right, that's easy. Rays, that's going to be tough. Then Rangers, that's going to be tough. So the first,
Yeah.
those second 2 series aren't going to be like super
Yeah.
easy.
So get off to a little slow start.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys want to move on to NBA?
Yeah, let's do some. Let's do some. You run it. You run it for us.
All right. So this weekend was very interesting, particularly yesterday because we had some interesting stuff go down. Jalen Brunson got hurt for the Knicks.
Right.
Yeah, they didn't have enough injuries. They needed one more.
It feels like a curse. On
Yeah,
this team right now. It's so
Dude,
sad.
they won 8, 9 in a row. Everything was going good. OG goes down. Randall goes down. And now Brunson goes down. And guess what? They still won.
Mm-hmm.
It looks bad
Yeah.
too, that
No.
injury.
Yeah, because they're like the X-rays are negative. And I'm like, I don't know. The way it looked bad.
So I looked at the clip again, and
Mhm.
he bumps knees with Hartenstein right before it
Yes.
happens, and so
Yes.
that causes him to limp a little bit. And then when he gets the ball, that's where he kind of falls down, and it looks really bad because it kind of looks non-contact, which
Yeah.
is always
Yeah,
just
that's
the
always
worst.
the worst.
non-contact are the worst injuries, right?
Mhm.
Because
Right.
it just happens on its own.
So the negative X-rays is huge.
Yeah.
But he's gonna miss some games.
Yeah.
And it's the worst thing for the Knicks right now because, I'm going to bring up the standings a little bit in a second, but I think there may be just a couple games back from the 7th seed. I just looked up the word standings. They're
in fourth,
they're
right?
fourth, but they're 36 and 25. So we're looking at the 7th seed right now. Yeah, so they're 1.5 games back from the 7th seed. So
Which-
you can't really afford to
Yeah.
lose that many games, which you're gonna. Last night was great. Josh Hart played unbelievable.
Josh
Deuce
Hart,
McBride,
Dante.
Deuce McBride played like
Yeah.
47
He
minutes.
played
again.
47 minutes and 20 seconds. Basically, from
Yeah.
when Brunson went down, he just played the whole game.
Yeah, it's not. What's the word I'm looking
Sustainable.
for? Yeah, sustainable.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
You wanna? What's their schedule looking like?
Let's take a look.
It's not too bad.
So we got the Hawks coming up. That should be a win.
Back-to-back
no Trae
Sixers.
Young. Magic, Sixers twice.
And Sixers don't have Embiid.
Oh,
Don't have
will he
Embiid.
be out then?
Yeah.
He's out for a little bit, right?
He's out
Yeah.
till like the beginning of April.
Yeah, okay.
Then Blazers, that should be a win.
Yeah.
Kings will be tough. Warriors, you
You never know.
Nuggets.
It's tough.
So it's like a mix.
It's a mix of good and bad teams.
Yeah.
So they have a decent schedule.
They should be able to stay above 7th, I think.
Yes.
I think. Because there's some bad teams in there.
I mean, the Heat are always there.
Mhm.
But all right. So yeah. By the way, I just wanted to point out one specific part of that game.
What's that?
Josh Hart puts the Knicks up 6 with the big three, puts them up 104-98. Goes to Donovan Mitchell and kind of snags at his chain and just walks past them.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, the Cavs, like, I love what the Cavs have done the past 2 months. They've looked really good, but it's games like this why people don't buy into them.
I mean, 39-21 on the season. They've had like some incredible. It's been
Yeah.
quiet
No,
for
no,
them, but
it-
they've had a
right.
really nice couple of months.
But a loss like this is really telling of where I feel like the Cavs are.
Yeah.
Like, they're a good team, but they're not gonna compete with like another good team.
I mean, that's hard for me to say right now. I need to see, come playoff time. But wins like these or losses like these do kind of stand out to you. You know, it's
Yeah.
on national television. This is a game that you absolutely have to win. The Knicks are missing 4 of their starters. You know.
Yeah, and I know that the Cavs didn't have Mitchell, but still.
But still,
I
you
don't
had
know.
Garland, Mobley, Allen.
Yeah, I don't know. To me,
I don't know.
I think they're just like best of the rest in best case scenario. You know what I mean? Like, I think they're like, maybe they're better than the Sixers, maybe they're better than the Magic kind of thing, but they're not like.
They're a 4 or 5 seed.
It's
They're
like
not.
yeah, exactly. It's like
Yeah.
and like comfortably that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like if they come up against the Celtics or the Bucks, are we really gonna pretend like
I know,
we're
right?
picking,
Yeah.
that they have a chance without like a lot of luck or injuries turning their, going in their favor? And I think the answer is no.
And then the Bucks are finally 2nd seed, only 8.5 games behind the Celtics. So, I mean, it's interesting because I feel like the Sixers have done a good job of at least staying afloat.
10
At
games
least,
above
yeah.
500.
They're at least staying above that play-in range, I could see them and the Knicks or them and the Cavs being a first-round matchup.
Not gonna lie, the Sixers are doing a lot better than I would have
Yeah.
thought without Embiid.
They beat the Mavs yesterday.
Yeah,
which
that was
surprising.
I was not expecting that.
Look, and by the way, speaking of the Mavs, I love Luka as a player. Incredible, top 3 player in the league.
He's great.
The guy, how am I gonna say this?
Oh,
Doesn't
boy.
make guys
Here we
around
go.
him better.
What'd you say?
He doesn't make players around him better. I just watched that Mavs team. It's the Luka show, and that's it.
Yeah,
it's
he's
like,
very
I don't know.
one-dimensional.
Kyrie kind of is off doing his own thing, and then you just have the role players just there, Maybe you get a good Josh Green game, maybe you get a good Tim Hardaway game, but it's very hit or miss with the role players, and I feel like it's just too much on Luka, and it's only Luka, not him getting the whole team together and having a collective effort.
I agree with you, Sean. I think there's also interest. I don't know. I don't watch the Mavs enough to really have a confident take on this myself, but I think do we need? I mean, it's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Do the Mavs haven't done the best job building this roster at all? I don't think that's a super hot take.
Right.
But it's also how much of it is also Luka needs to improve as a player.
That's
You know
what
what
I
I
was trying to
Yeah.
say. I feel like it's Luka who he is as a player is great, but
One-dimensional.
there needs to be that growth of making other guys around you better. Because if he starts making guys around him better, that team's gonna be better overall.
Yeah.
I just hate the Kyrie trade. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I hated not
I
re-signing
don't
Brunson.
like. I don't like having Kyrie on your team. I just don't think.
I mean, it's been pretty quiet for him this season.
he's had his moments, and
Yeah.
he's a talented player. But
From experience, I know.
This is not a roster that
Yeah.
sticks out to me. Even as a dark horse team,
Yeah.
I cannot see them making it out of the West.
Yeah.
I no, I don't think because you'd have to ask it just be hey Kyrie, hey Luka, you guys just win us the chip, and I don't think they're at that level. Those two, I mean, which isn't like that's not really a big slight on those
Exactly.
guys either, because that's almost impossible to do for just 2 players to carry a team,
And the ABC game yesterday at 3:30, Celtics Warriors, a good competitive game here, guys.
Oh yeah.
A very good competitive game for the
I-
first 6 minutes of the first quarter.
I remember I was
No,
like.
It was 21-21 at one point.
Yeah, no, I didn't see the score, and I was like, the Celtics gonna play the Warriors. I'm gonna turn this on, and then I saw the score, and I was like, oh, never mind. I'm gonna do something better with my time.
And then I'm like, how the hell did the Celtics definitely won that game? I think that's what it comes down to. They saw the Warriors 2 years ago win the championship on their home floor, and a part of the Celtic team is just like, Jaylen Brown even said this after the game. They had their time, now it's ours. I feel like the Celtics team has grown to that point where it's like, they know this is their year. They know this is their time, and this was the most impressive win for them this regular season. I know the Warriors aren't that great of a team this year, but to do that against the team that took a championship from you 2 years ago after you went up 2-1, to do that is impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I
You
wouldn't
could-
call it impressive because of how the Warriors are right now.
Yeah.
They're not the best team, but I would say it's a statement win from them
Mhm.
that they kind of have that,
The Warriors
that
have
they're-
also
they're
the-
nicked off,
Yeah, the Warriors have also kind of been the mental hurdle for the Celtics. So even after that
Yeah.
final season, even after that finals matchup, the regular season matchups, you could tell kind of the Celtics struggling against the Warriors. So now I feel like this was that, like you said, that statement game where it's like they're past that and then they're just moving on to wanting to be the best.
Yeah, I agree. I think that even though I agree with Max, even though it wasn't like, I don't know, the Warriors aren't good, so I wasn't that impressed with the
Mhm.
victory. But I think that the manner of the way that they just torched them, and I could see it being a big mental thing for them. It's like you
Yeah.
said, Sean. I think they still that finals loss really hurt them a lot. But I guess the last thing I'll say about the Celtics really is, I like watching them play.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, every segment we have about the Celtics is just going to end with me saying, "Win a chip."
Okay.
Yeah.
That's where they're
That-
at. That's
Denver-
where they're at.
Denver, to me, in my opinion,
That's
Denver's
fair.
still the best team in the NBA.
Denver?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they gotta.
Because the way they that game against the Lakers, where you just see like it was close, and then the Nuggets just take over the last 5 minutes. They know how to get it done. They know when
Yeah.
it matters, and I feel like they won the championship. They've been there before, and I'll always have them number one in the regular season. Celtics as the number two as of right now.
All right, well, we're going to be talking more NBA in the future, as well as next week when we bring you our National League predictions.
Mhm.
So we'll see you then. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, guys.
Have a great week.